Hello everyone, a very good day to all of you. First of all, a massive congratulations to all of those who have cleared your prelims and you have reached the mains level. So first of all, a massive congratulations, but the job is not yet finished. As you can see here, I have come up with the main session for you all. Okay, so in these main sessions, what I'll be dealing, I'll be helping you navigate through the different concepts and types of questions that will be asked. I'll be solving a paper and I'll tell you and dissect you and how to solve the mains paper, because there is a major difference between the prelims and mains paper. You know, it's like you playing a league match versus a final match against Australia. And we all know that if Australia comes in the finals, boy oh boy, it's never easy to defeat them, right? It's just like that. Mains is a completely different ball game. Okay, so the topics, the type of questionnaires that were asked by the examiners in the prelims is entirely different to that of will be asked in mains. So what are the topics that will be asked? So first of all, I'll be covering couple of topics of English, and then also I'll be giving you sessions on critical reasoning. Apparently critical reasoning are now mostly asked questions in all of the mains questions. Edukantandre almost reasoning dalli out of 35, 14 questions last year mains dalli 14 question critical reasoning ಮೇಲೆ ಇತ್ತು. So ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆನೂ sessions ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, don't worry on that. So without further ado, let's start and let me give you an overview of English section in RRB PO mains. Correct? So all your future officers, are you all excited for the session? Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you comment below, and so that you let us know that if you have liked the session or not by the end of this. Okay, now generally when we talk about the section of English, what are the topics that will be asked? See, generally we know that English dalli namage more main sections ide. Grammar, the next section bandibiಟ್ಟು vocabulary ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Then the third section is all about comprehension. No, so these are the three important parts. Now since you have already cleared the stage 1, that is in prelims ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರಬಹುದು error detection ಇತ್ತು, you had vocabulary ಕಡಿಮೆನೇ ಇತ್ತು and ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ comprehension. Vocabulary ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು it was quite easy. So if I were to actually tell you in prelims, it would be somewhere about 45% on grammar and vocabulary and some 55% on comprehension. But in mains, please do remember, comprehension easily compromises of minimum 70% of the question. So what should be a strategy? Your strategy should be mostly compromised of comprehension. But adanth heli iವೆಲ್ಲ neglect ಮಾಡೋದು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, since we have very less time. So how to actually prepare the strategy? What should be your strategy? I'll explain you. First of all, let's understand what are the different topics asked in comprehension. As you already know, the first topic that will be asked is RCs, reading comprehension. Okay, the next common topic that might be asked is Cloze Test, and then of course the most important, this is where a lot of people struggle, parajumbles. ಹೌದಾ, ಈ ಮೂರು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೌದಾ, ವೊಕ್ಯಾಬುಲರಿ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಸಿನೋನಿಮ್ಸ್, ಆಂಟೋನಿಮ್ಸ್, ಇಡಿಯಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ರೇಸಸ್, ಫ್ರೇಸಲ್ ವರ್ಬ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. when it comes to vocabulary in mains, they will never ask you direct form like what is the meaning of this. No, probably the type of questions is ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು the following ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು 4-5 ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಲೋ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೌದಾ, or they will give you a sentence, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ they will ask you to replace the incorrect phrasal verb. So ಈ ತರ questions ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. So or they might give you a entire sentence and they might ask you to identify the incorrect idiom. So the type of questions will be little tricky. All right, the concept is same, the questions that can be asked is little tricky. That is where we need to practice the type of questions. And coming to grammar, see, we don't have enough time to again go back and study grammar. I'm sure everybody, those who have cleared prelims, has a certain amount of, certain amount of knowledge of grammar. So but I would still recommend you, once sati ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, grammar ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು tenses, voices, active and passive voice, speeches, ಹೌದಾ, direct and indirect speeches, ಹೌದಾ, ಮತ್ತೆ coming to pronouns, because pronouns is such a huge topic. Then you have subject verb agreement ಇದೆ. So generally ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಎದಕ್ಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎರರ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ they might probably ask you from these topics, because they itself contribute to about 50 to 60% of grammar rules. So that is what I'm giving you a hint. Okay, so and how do we prepare comprehension, sir? What is the best way to prepare? See guys, now onwards, probably by the time you see this video would be today or maybe tomorrow, but probably let's say another, you have 1 week maximum. So in 1 week, how can you prepare? In 1 week, guys, every day you should be practicing RCs, clothes test and para jumbles without fail. This is mandatory, and if you're practicing it, don't practice it offline. ಪೇಪರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ಔಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ನೋ ದಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಗೈಸ್ computer based, and in LCD screen we cannot see everything that we can see in a paper format. So make sure that you are seeing all of this, practicing all of this on online, correct? So the clothes test, a lot of people have asked me, sir, clothes test ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು particular session ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ, because this is where we are actually struggling. RCs chalo, we are now practicing anyways. Para jumbles also, because para jumbles ನಾನು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೇಪರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪೇಪರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಹೌ ಟು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಕ್ಲೋತ್ಸ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಭಾಳ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಭಾಳ ಜನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐಲ್ ಡೂ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ ಇಸ್, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಅ ಥರೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ clothes test right now in this video itself, right? So let's start with clothes test. Now what is a clothes test, guys? Clothes test andre enu, see, clothes test is nothing but you will be given a sheet of paper, and in that sheet of paper you will be given certain blanks. There are certain blanks left, and as these certain blanks are left, for each blank there are 5 options, howda? And you need to select from those 5 options. Well, it sounds pretty easy, sir. It's like almost fill in the blanks. No, it is not fill in the blanks, because fill in the blanks allo probably ಒಂದು word ಹಾಕ್ತಿರಬಹುದು, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಲೆಟರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಿರಬಹುದು, but it is just more than that. They can ask you from any topic of grammar, they can ask you from any topic of vocabulary, right? They can mix anything. It could be a tense, it could be a voice, it could be a speech, it could be an article, it could be anything. And albeit the only major difference from the school level and this level is the level is way too high, right? So for clothes test, having a very good knowledge of phrasal verbs, having a very good knowledge of grammar rules, and most importantly prepositions, all those things matter, correct? So how to approach a clothes test? So these are few steps I'll tell you to approach a clothes test. So what are the steps to solve a clothes test? So if you want to solve a clothes test, there are few steps that I would like you to I'd like to share with you. The first and foremost important step in solving clothes test is, guys, is bhala major mistake ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Major mistake ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಓದೋದಿಲ್ಲ. See, comprehension. What is the meaning of comprehension? Comprehension refers to your ability to understand a piece of information. Without trying to do that, only trying to get into shortcuts will not lead you anywhere. And remember, over the last 5-6 years, all of the English section papers have become extremely conceptual. Conceptual ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದ್ರೇನೆ, ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್? read at least 5 to 6 lines of the passage. See, whatever passage you have got, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 5 to 6 ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಲೈನ್ಸನ್ನು ನೀವು ಓದಲೇಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಫೇಲ್. ವೈ ಇಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್? ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಥೀಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಥೀಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್. ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ಎದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಥೀಮ್ ಆರ್ POV ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ POV? POV refers to point of view of author. What is the author trying to really talk about, or whatever this article is talking about. Let's say that if I'm reading a piece of article and it is talking, let's say I've read after reading 5 to 6 lines, I'm getting an idea that it's perhaps talking something related to health. The moment I know that the key idea is something related to health, all of a sudden my brain starts to think about words relating to health. Insurance, how the sneezing or symptoms. I'm just giving you an idea. Automatically your brain, your neurons fire to get words related to health, hospital, infrastructure, all of that. Suppose if I'm reading first to 5-6 lines and then I'm realizing that the given particular passage is about, let's say, economy. All of a sudden my brain starts to think about words related to economy, recession, GDP, correct, inflation, repo rate, something related to that. So this is very, very important, because we are helping our brains to align with the concept here. So because adukku heltini, comprehension is more of logical ರೀಸನಿಂಗ್ ತರ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮೆಮರಿ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಅದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್, ಸಿ ವೆನೆವರ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಅಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಅ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್, ಯಾವುದೇ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಟೋನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಂಡರ್ಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ವಂಡರಿಂಗ್ ವೈ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್. Because this is the most fundamental thing. Like suppose if I'm telling it to you about a particular situation, nimage probably I might be telling about someone else, but you can understand the emotion of that person through my tone, right? But in written format, we also need to understand the tone of the passage by understanding what is the sentence talking about. Suppose this is my blank. ಈ blank ಒಳಗಡೆ ನನಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾ, ಇದು ಎದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ಯಾವ part of the sentence belong agutte. Does that blank belong to the positive tone of the sentence, or does it belong to a negative tone of sentence? I'll just give you one simple example. When I met her, she was quite happy and dash. When I met her, she was quite happy and dash. Obviously, if you look at the context of the sentence is purely positive. Absolutely right. And because I used the word happy, and whatever word I have to use after happy, it has to be relating with happy, and most importantly, it should be positive. So what happens? So you get an idea of what tone of the sentence is. Based on that, you will understand what nim blank dal barbeku. Is that clear? Next one. The third important thing, guys, is method of elimination and ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. This is something that you have to do. Like a lot of smart people know, this is what they do if they are very much confused related to something. Method of elimination ante. What is method of elimination? Suppose you are given 5 options, because for each blank there will be 5 options. Sometimes in order to find the right answer, first we need to figure out what is the wrong answer first. How that? This is the first basic understanding of method of elimination. In order to find the right answer, we have to eliminate first the obvious wrong answers, because there are certain options which are very confusing. So obviously ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ಒಂದು 2-3 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದೇನು 1 ಅಥವಾ 2 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಉಳಿತು. ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ 2 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೈನ್ ಓದಿ ಟೋನ್ ನೋಡಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾನು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಫೋರ್ತ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇವು. Why is that? Because they completely change the tone of the entire passage in itself, or maybe the sentence in itself. One of the best examples I always take is the usage of but. Elrigu gottalla, but yaವಾಗ use ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? When we want to talk about, let's say, positive, then I'm using but. Obviously it should be immediately be followed by negative sentence. Athva, suppose if I'm talking about anything negative, then I'm using something called as but. Immediately what happens? Completely changes the tone of the sentence and makes it as positive. On similar lines, you have words like although, however, while, correct, etc. Like although is a very interesting word. Yadukantandre although ಆದಮೇಲೆ it will be generally followed by 2 sentences. It is a combination of either positive sentence or a negative sentence. Positive sentence or negative sentence. Athava negative sentence bandre it will be followed by positive sentence. I'll give you one example. Although he's quite pain, although he's a quite a painful person to deal with, yet he gets the job done. You can see starting dalli one negative word ittu athwa one negative statement ittu, adadmele immediately it is followed by a positive statement. Or it could be although I'm quite happy, I'm still not very satisfied with what I have. Okay, so you can see it is followed by a positive sentence, and then after that immediately I have taken negative sentence. So based on that you will get to know the tone of the sentence, and if you get the tone of the sentence, it becomes easy for us to figure out a blank ಒಳಗಡೆ ಯಾವ word ಬರಬೇಕು. So these are the few important steps to approach any clothes test. Don't blindly go. ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? Feel. Okay, don't feel the language, because comprehension is all about logic. It is the test of your logical understanding of the language, not the language in itself, right? So without further ado, what I'll do is I'll go with the practical application of this particular passage. So here, okay, so this is passage 1. So what is the first basic step I told you guys? The first basic step is the basic step is what, guys? To read first few lines. So what I'll do, first I need to know what is the passage talking about. So when I look at the passage, even yoga, the origin of inner dash is problematic now, with no clarity on politically correct asanas. One wouldn't want to take the risk with A or and dash Surya Namaskar. Nowadays, even our yogis do not come across as paradigms of happiness. There is a heartwarming story behind the International Day of Happiness, often adopted from the streets of Kolkata. So if I look at the context of the passage, it is talking something related to yoga and something related to a controversy. How it is talking something related to the controversy of yoga. So it is kind of both. It has both positive, negative tones. So now I know what it is talking about. So let's look into the first blank. Even yoga, the origin of inner dash. See, yoga antandre automatically my brain obviously knows it is talking about something spiritual, something inner peace. So obviously the right answer is without a doubt is option number 3. Okay. Of inner peace is problematic now with no clarity on politically correct asanas. Next, one would not want to take the risk with A or an dash Surya Namaskar. Think. ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಈ ಬ್ಲಾಂಕ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಈ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟೋನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು. One would not want to take the risk with A or as Surya Namaskar. If you observe the tone of the sentence is what? Positive, negative. Risk ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಆ ತರದ್ದು ಸೂರ್ಯ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಯಾವುದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್. ಸೊ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಲಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಲೇಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್, ಲೇಟ್ ಸೂರ್ಯ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ. So obviously the only option left is improper. And even if you had understood the tone of the sentence, it was negative. Because of the negativity, you would have chosen the negative word in itself. I hope everybody is clear. Let's move on to the next one. There is a heartwarming story behind the International Day of Happiness, often adopted from the streets of Kolkata, who grew up to dash a campaign lobbying all the member states of the United Nations for the recognition of happiness as dash and dash. First, let's understand what is this. So there is a guy who grew up and lobbying all members. What do you mean by lobbying? Lobbying antandre kind of bringing them together so that they can support this idea. What is the idea that he's wanting to do? Recognition of happiness. So what should be my option? So this is a very confusing option. So generally sir, campaign bandaga ಲಾಂಚ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಹಳ ಜನ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಅಂತ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಸಿ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು, ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಲಾಂಚಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್. ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೇರ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಬರಬೇಕು? ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್. ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್, ಬ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ವಾಟ್? Recognition of happiness as fundamental dash right and goal. I hope everybody is clear. Now we have gotten into fundamental dash right and goal. So I have been given these 4 options. So yav choose ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ, ಅನಿಮಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ರೈಟ್, ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್, ಆರ್ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್ ರೈಟ್? ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಬಹಳ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಷನ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಷನ್? ಎಲಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ದಿ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್? ಸಿ ನಾವು ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಗಾನ್. ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್, ಆರ್ ವಿ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್? ಸಿ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಯೋರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೈಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್, ಈಸ್ ಯೋಗ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ರಿಲಿಜನ್? ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ನಾಟ್. ಸೊ ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನೌ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಸೇ ಸರ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ರೈಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಗೈಸ್? ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ fundamental only. No, what is the meaning of fundamental? Fundamental andre basic. So why are you using again basic when the word itself is already fundamental? So fundamental, human right. I hope you are able to understand how logically I am approaching this cloze test. Logic, it's all about the game of logic. And the last one, happiness is yours for the taking. It would be that feeling of being able to dash your own cash from the bank. See this important term, from the bank. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ನಿಂದ ನೀವು ಏನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರಿ? ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ದ ಮನಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? ವಿತ್ಡ್ರಾ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. ಐ ಬಿಲೀವ್ that this has given you a very good perspective on how to solve cloze test. So what I want you to do is, I want you all to pause the video for the next one and try it for yourself, right? So we'll solve the next passage. Okay. Let's solve, I think, yeah, we can solve passage 3. Once I want you all to solve this passage 3. Yes, please solve this passage, guys. You can pause the video. And of course, you have the questions related to that are also there in the next slide. So you can pause the video, read it and solve the next so that you get an idea. You can pause it. Okay, no? So what couple of aspirants do, they'll immediately get to solving without like ignoring the first step. Like when it comes to dash, babies are the experts. So nan kade ಏನಿದೆ cycling, crying, breathing, breaking, shouting, playing, and most of the students will go, sir, first one crying. Of course, babies andre crying ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕತ್ತೀವಿ. Why? Baby can't shout, babies can't play, babies can't breathe, babies can't break, babies can't cry. See, all the 5 options are correct. So this is why first step is predominantly very important. When it comes to dash, babies are the experts. No idea. I have no idea what it is talking about. So I'll continue reading it. Every human, whether child or grown up, can be an expert in one faculty or in some action. Babies are no exception. Okay, fine. Still I have no idea. The gentle rise and fall of their dash as they sleep. Now I am getting small idea. Sleep, okay, is a sign that they are dash for optimal health deeply from their diaphragms. Very interesting. So now I get an idea. Automatically my brain, okay, beep, beep, now get an idea. What is that idea, guys? It is talking something related to breathing or sleeping pattern of babies. Correct? So now having said that, now I'll read it again. When it comes to dash, babies are the experts. When it comes to what? When it comes to, ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಏನದು? Breathing. I hope you got my point now. When it comes to breathing, babies are the experts. Every human, whether child or grown up, can be an expert in one faculty or in some action. Babies are no exception. The gentle rise and fall of their dash as they sleep is sign. As they sleep, what? Fall of their nagate. Eyes, hands, legs, lips, bellies. Obviously, bellies. How the elbow? If manali yaradru malkondiddaga, I'm sure we all have done this. How do we know if somebody is alive? We'll see if they are diaphragms. That is belly part of there. If it rises and contracts. Simple, right? Next. They are dash for optimal health deeply. So 13th thing barutte, inhaling, weeping, jumping, whistling, showing. See, observe matter. The moment I knew that it is talking about sleeping pattern babies, obviously the option would be inhaling. See how easy it becomes for me. That is why I tell you, don't go for shortcuts in comprehension. I know there are a lot of YouTube channels who teach you identify, these functions of the word before the blank and after that, all nonsense. Focus. Logic hai to sab kuch hai na? So next, let's go on to the next one, guys. The fact that babies sleep soundly and most of the time is proof that their bodies and faculties are functioning normally. Perhaps grown-ups who are sleep deprived. See, this is quite, see, ee tara ನೀವು keywords na identify ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Sleep deprived. What is the meaning of deprived, guys? Lack of sleep. Someone who is grown-ups. Grown-ups andre yaru? Adults like us. Above the age of 18, right? Athwa adults who are definitely no longer any babies. So grown-ups antandre we of course, and then sleep deprived means lack of sleep. So tone change aglikaditi. Should take a lesson from them. What lesson? About their sleeping patterns, how they sleep nicely. Physicians say by the time a baby is 3 months old, the baby will have acquired some of the pollutants from air, food and drink. But as we age, see, transition word barlikaditi. But as we age, what is the meaning of again as we age? As we grow up in age and become adults, our breathing tends to become dash and dash. A or and dash means of supplying oxygen to our cells and sending a stress response system into dash. See, this important context will be only understood if you have by just this one simple word called as but. Isn't it amazing that how that one word can completely change the context? ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ? ಬಟ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಿಷನ್ ವರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೌದಾ? ಇದೇನಿದೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೇಬಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ದೇ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ನೈಸ್ಲಿ, ದೇ ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ಡೀಪ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್. ಬಟ್ ಆಸ್ ವಿ ಅಡಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್, ಆರ್ ಬ್ರೀದಿಂಗ್ ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು, is it going to be the same? No, of course, in a negative manner. So I need to see what is that negative manner. So let me go to the 14th option. So I have easy, serious, showy, rapid, aggressive. What did I tell you? Method of elimination. So easy ಅಂತೂ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಐತಿ. ನಂಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಬೇಕು. ಶೋವಿ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. Aggressive is way too negative. Aggressive sometimes refers to which initiates, let's say, we're talking about in terms of action, which is not the case. So I'm left with serious and rapid. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Babies breathe very slowly and deeply. That's what the context of the passage is saying. So as we age, our breathing tends to become dash. Our breathing tends to become rapid. Why? What is the meaning of rapid? Quick. So if you compare the breathing of a baby and the grown-ups, that is us, we tend to breathe faster than the baby in itself. So ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Breathing tends to become rapid, and because if you breathe fast, does it your breathing become simple? ಬಹಳ ಜನ simple ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Absolutely not. See, if you breathe faster, what happens? Your bodies will not get, the organs in your body will not get sufficient. See, awareness of the topics also helps. The organs of your body will not get enough oxygen supply, and that is why ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಏನಾದರೂ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಡೀಪ್ ಬ್ರೆತ್. ವೈ? ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಡೀಪ್ ಬ್ರೆತ್, the oxygen is supplied to all the organs of your body, and then apparently you calm down, and then you're able to solve things very easily. So that's why shallow. What is the meaning of shallow? Less, narrow. Howda? So supplying to and sending a stress response system into dash. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ 16th. Inefficient, plentiful, vigorous. So what type of breathing, guys? A dash means of supplying oxygen. What type of oxygen are we supplying? We are supplying sufficient or inefficient? Inefficient, negative word. Because ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಐತಿ. Vigorous means quick, fast. Sending our stress response system into dash. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನಾವು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ರೀತ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬಹಳ ಹೈಪರ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್. Correct? Next one. Suppose grown-ups had breathed the way babies do. Many diseases could have been avoided without recourse of the medication. So it is all talking about if you have good sleeping pattern, most of your diseases will be eliminated. But what is the result of this changed and undesirable weather of breathing? Burnout, a dash immune system and disease. See nodri, a dash immune system and disease. See again negative. So blank dal yav word barabeku? A negative word barabeku. Yav tara immune system agutte burnout le? ನಮ್ಮ ಇಮ್ಯೂನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ನ್ಔಟ್ಲೆ? ಸಾರಿ our immune system, what happens? Burdened, ruined, toned, weakened, subjected. Obviously you would have heard either our immune system is strong or weak. So it is a negative. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು? Weakened immune system. So because of that, but like many things, we take breathing for granted and don't usually pay dash to it until there is a dash. But like many, we don't pay usually what? Attention to it until and unless there is a problem. I believe even if you had paused the video and solved, out of 10 questions, if you had followed my strategy, at least ನೀವು ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 7 questions easily straight forward ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಿತ್ತು. ಒಂದು 2-3 questions ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. Remember guys, accuracy is more important than solving all the 10 questions. Maybe ನೀವು 10 ದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ನಾನು 3 ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಬಟ್ 7 ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ, great. Maybe you have solved all the 10 but 3 are wrong. Accuracy ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. I hope you got my point, because score ಅಂತೂ 7 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, but 7 ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮತ್ತೆ -0.25 into 3, that is -0.57 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So be very careful on how to actually approach. Accuracy over perfection, remember this. Correct? So what we'll do guys is we'll solve one last question and on cloze test, then I'll move on to the solving of mains paper and how to approach those questions. So let's move on and let's solve passage 2. If you like the session, if it is helping you guys, please make sure that you are kind of, liking, just click yes to it. Okay. So let's go about it, guys. Can you solve this? I think it's better. Wait, guys. dash. So public image ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊತೀವಿ, ಓಕೆ ಅದು ಪೂರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚೋಸನ್ ದಟ್, ಬಟ್ ನೋ, that is what the passage talks about, right? Generally I have also one important thing to tell you at the end of this one, and you can research about it as well. Farmers are actually very, very rich in India, right? So farming apparently is considered to be one of the richest money making and richest fortunes of India, but many people don't know about it. The public image of farming being a poor man's assertion and sizable vote share. So enagbeku, it is something related to like his the farmers being it is their job. So the right answer is venture. Okay, certainty, affirmation, assurance barodilla. Farmers and have made the idea of farm taxes a political dash. It means they are giving you hints. Political, illi bhal jana struggle ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, but it's a new concept. The right answer is option number 5, no change. Sir, why no change? Taboo. What is the meaning of political taboo? Taboo antandre which is societally not accepted. One of the examples I'll give you, like LGBTQ community. Okay, by the government we have laws that LGBT community is legal, section 377 is legal, but still major parts of the society are not accepting it, making it as a taboo. Like there are many issues as well. So then are not taboo anti. What is the meaning of taboo? Which are not societally accepted, which people don't want to accept in the society. So that is what people are also like here. Although they can tax farmers, but political taboo, political parties don't want to do this because they will lose their votes. So adake taboo. The frequent distress faced by poor or dash farmers. There are some farmers who are really poor or antide. So poor or yaud barutte, marginal, major, significant, compelling. Poor or antandre I have to take a word which is similar to word poor, that is marginal, which could be. But India has presence of rich farmers as well, and there exists a strong dash for taxing them in order to widen the country's embarrassingly narrow tax base. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೂ ಬಹಳ ರಿಚ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದು ರೀಸನಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೈಸ್? ಇಂಡೈಕ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಒಪೋಸಿಷನ್, ಜಸ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಅಲಿಗೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರಿಚ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೋದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಂಡ್ ಫೈನಲಿ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, the last one. It was suggested that an appropriate tax policy should draw a dash between rich and poor farmers. Concurrence antandre, concurrence andre enu bringing together, but that's an idea, like hint. But actually answer ene beku, rich ಮತ್ತೆ poor farmers ಗೆ differentiate ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು ಒಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಏನು ಬರಬೇಕು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ the right answer would be what guys? The right answer would be what? Your distinction. Distinction ಅಂತಂದ್ರೇನು? It clearly distinguishes from the poor farmers and the rich farmers. So I believe this cloze test has really helped you. There are many different questions and I'll send you. Make sure that you practice them every day. Make sure you're practicing 3 cloze tests, 3 RCs and 3 to 5 para jumbles at any cost online, right? So in the next video, in the next session, that is in the next video, we'll be solving the mains level paper and I'll tell you how to approach them as well, right? Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment below of how you really like the session, and if it is helpful, please share it to your friends as well. Thank you for watching.